Oh shit!
The whole town's freaked out by this. Oh!
Come back, coward!
The priests begin to bless the body as it's burning. It's white light that then dies down to blue as the spirit is gone, and then goes back down to crackling flames. And the body of the old wizard is now consumed.
I don't know what happened there.
That's what that thing was here for.
Ghost Eater. A Spirit Eater,
Says Lokrik to you guys.
That's disturbing.
Yes. I wonder why he didn't try to consume... Is Salr Wyrmbein holy ground? Ingrid comes wandering over to you. Of course it is. It is holy to many deities.
Next time, burn inside.
At least the old man looked fast,
Says Lokrik.
And did you see him wink at us?
I did.
It was more of a bow.
No, I saw a wink.
Seemed thankful, grateful, perhaps.
Okay. To assuage...
Did everybody see him differently? Is that, or is it just a perception thing?
Some people were looking closer or doing something else at the time. To assuage the people that everything's all right, the High Watcher goes over and actually lights this beacon.
It is all right. The spirit, the harmful spirit, is gone, and it is in the sky that the spirit of the White Wizard shall do battle with the Nethergeist.
And people seem to be calming down somewhat.
Yeah. Even in death, he saved you from one more threat. Good guy, that is.
He must have been a pure and righteous soul to have him such coherency after death. No doubt a blessing from the gods.
Actually, I've seen some rather coherent people after they died. It's actually quite common where I'm from.
Oh. Do you see this sort of thing all the time?
Whatever do you mean?
Well, not exactly. They're still carrying them. Well, they're still carrying their bodies around.
That's
He just doesn't like the sound of
unnerving.
it. His lip is upturned.
Is this puzzle?
No, it's not a puzzle. There's undead everywhere where I'm from. Everywhere.
the Cauldron-born.
Why would you have undead everywhere?
Oh, you know, necromantic plague, you know.
Bring your
Unfortunate
army
bit
to
of...
slay them.
Unfortunate...
Witches, no doubt.
No, well, wizards it was.
Hmm.
Black magic.
Well, I suppose, yeah, probably.
Okay. On the 3rd of Oak is the day of justice.
Justice!
They do lead a procession out to the field of blood and metal, where they've already gagged the Orc Nesker, and they do hang him until he is dead, unless any of you guys want
Nope.
me to go into more details.
No.
Do any of you try to stop this?
Only if they're being cruel and unusual about it.
Okay. The High Watcher, he seems to be helping preside over this. Just some guy in a hood goes over and pulls the lever down.
Okay, that does not sound cruel nor unusual.
He jangles a little bit and then eventually stops twitching, and then he's His body is then stuck in a cage, like a crow's nest.
Okay.
Hey, he's dead. That's a little unusual.
Just to remind people, or send a reminder to those traitors, i.e. the Orknesker that are still living in the town. They then bring forth Omast From, who's looking pathetic. He is not gagged. Did you speak to the Jarl? He's saying to Galeth.
I didn't drink and comprehend languages for this one. So you can just go blah, 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 blah.
Did you speak to him? I'll serve you.
Blah, 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 blah.
I tried my best. It's a hex. I swear I'm cursed. That's why I drink. I'm cursed.
Gallus says nothing, but simply watches him with a steely gaze.
Okay. They come in with wheelbarrows, and they start just dumping stones around the big stone. Like, enough throwing stones for the entire village. As people are lined up, there's not enough room in the field of blood and metal for everyone to stand. This man is brought before the gods. This is the High Watcher. And his betters, and those of the great town of Runeshoyde, and the great Jarldom, in which the town sits. He is to be condemned for his crimes and ineptitude by stoning. Let every man, woman, and child cast a stone. Know that you, Omast From, have failed your people. He doesn't talk about burying him in a grave face down for the worms. Apparently that's something Jarl and his men will have to do himself. There's sort of a silent protest there. Who among you will cast the first stone? The High Watcher has said. By this point in time, everyone turns to look at Uker because they know.
Uker gets first
And
stone.
some of the children that were standing on the big stone go scrambling down from the stone. There's one dumb kid, because there's always one dumb kid in the group of kids, that has to be kind of like reminded from the other kids, and they go scrambling down off the stones.
Uker's gonna go over to his big stone.
Apparently no one has told the Jarl this, because the consort actually tugs at his arm. The Jarl looks over and looks at Uker as Uker's drinking a bunch of potions.
I drink a couple of. I drink a mutagen.
Okay.
I drink a bull strength,
Yep.
and I drink an enlarged person.
Oh, Jotun! You notice a bunch of them cry out Jotun as Uker.
Well, that means giant,
Says Loker quietly to Uker. Jotun brood! Jotun brood!
Oh, I pick up this rock. I can pick it up without raging, but I'm gonna have to rage to throw it.
Okay. The Jarl and everyone is just a gasp just watching Uker stride through the crowd that goes scrambling out of his way as he's carrying the many-ton stone towards. Oh no! No, I can get better. I can get better. He's tied to a post. So you dropped the stone on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, we're trying to
Don't roll a 1.
Coup de grace. He's helpless, right?
Right. But this is like something automatically in your highest load.
With rage, yeah, this is in my heavy load.
This is in your heavy load. Okay, so you could drop something as a free action, but you're coup de grace with it.
I'm fine with rolling an attack roll on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll attack roll. Something bad.
I even have I got a true strike prepared.
I true strike. Drop this on your head. What?
Yeah, you know what? It's something you can lift, but you're trying to make a coup de grace attempt. He is helpless, so yeah, actually, you don't have to roll.
Okay. It's 6,000 something pounds.
I'm just gonna say he dies underneath the massive weight of the stone.
That sounds reasonable.
You hear his head crunch the first thing, and then the stone busts the wooden peg that they tied him to, and then the stone crunches down, and there's blood pouring out underneath, and women are shielding their children's eyes from the scene.
My goal is for there to be no him left to exposed to throw rocks at. Is what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, there's still blood.
There might be like a hand or something.
You notice that one kid comes forward. He's the same kid that you helped in the knife fight.
Okay,
The young blonde kid. He just looks up at Uker and he chucks his stone at the rock.
There we go.
And that starts a flood of people coming forward and throwing stones at the rock. And some of them just toss the stone in the general direction. Some of it lands in the mud. Some of it lands in the blood. But basically, they're hitting ineffectually the stone against stone, saving this man from a horrible last few moments of his life. At least it ended with a big dark block coming down on his head. Ingrid and the others just kind of like they just go forward and they drop a stone. Like it doesn't. They don't even go and hit the big block. They almost do it ceremoniously, or they realize that there's no point. But everyone in the village does cast a stone. Even the Jarl got up. Actually, no, the Jarl didn't. He just sat and watched. Svarklo gives Euchre a nod, like that was. He realizes the mercy that you had given him. But the hundreds of people that live in Runeshoyde go forth and cast their stones, and the pile basically gets moved from here to here.
So Uker, well, I guess, will take a little bit of a step back, but he's wasting to stand there.
Yep.
After 4 minutes, he reverts down to little Uker.
Galeth looks around, wondering if any of his companions would throw rocks.
Yeah, do any of you?
No. I mean, he's dead. It's
okay.
Uker is going to kind of, nobody else can understand what he's saying. Just sort of, when Emperor says dance, you have to dance. Sometimes he doesn't say how to dance.
Yeah, Lokrik.
It says in Nalbren, so only the companions can hear him. It's a good thing we're dealing with a Jarl, not an Emperor, eh?
Lokrik marches forward, picks up a stone, and just kind of drops it in the general direction. Like he...
Stone cutting my ass.
Plus 2. I don't want to piss them off right before I learn new spells, says Oberon, making an excuse. And he flicks a stone towards.
Does he mage hand it over there and just sort of like drop it down?
No, he doesn't make a show out of it. I'm not too sure what Ahmed would do.
he might just drop a stone, just to. So there's no anger against him, but he's not really.
Yeah, he goes over and just basically drops a stone in the general direction as well. There's a visible protest from Sir Galeth. This protest the Jarl has noted, and you notice that the Landgiver is also noted. And he goes over and whispers to the Jarl, and the Jarl just basically waves him off again. Zildin, you're also standing in solidarity with Sir Galeth and not casting stones.
Yeah, well, for him, it's mostly this is stupid. He's dead.
Galeth gives Azuldan a nod.
Azuldan. Okay. They don't like chastise you, but it is noted. You did get a few people like, come on, throw a stone, but you turned and looked at them, and they shirked away from you.
Death stare.
Gallus did make an effort of cleaning up his armor and stuff before he came out.
Okay.
So he is making a display of shininess. Pound those dents out of the breastplate.
All right.
Azildan's there picking the fleas out of his beard, so.
Are you wiping them on the paladin?
You want one?
No, thank you.
They're good for you.
I've already eaten.
Gross. You're so grody. All right, so the third day of Oak is the day of justice, where the Orknesker is hung and or hanged, and Ormast is slain by a giant rock.
Gravity itself was his killer.
It was 6,000 some odd pounds.
Yeah, and I guess the rock's gonna stay there for a while.
I'm not moving it.
The rock might end up being named after the guy whose bones are still underneath it. As they would probably have to mine it away and break it up into small
It's
chunks.
Omast Rock!
Right.
Or the Rock of Omast Doom, or Omast Fate, or something like that.
It's a rock now people stand on top of to make their speeches.
Long ago, a giant guy came here and killed some dude with this rock, and we haven't been able to move it.
So at this point in time, I think we're going to go into. You might want to. I think we'll go around the table with who you want to go and chat with around the town. I'm sure there's some questions and NPCs you want to interact with, but we'll kind of roll that in with the training that needs to go on for your levels. So why don't we take a quick break? Make sure that you've got your training to level plans in the combat sheet, and we'll kind of go through that after our break.
It's in the combat sheet?
Yeah, I'm gonna restart the stream because apparently we've got we need to clean up on aisle 3. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, let me see if restarting the stream will make things a little bit better, and I'll do that during the intermission. Okay, so I'm gonna mute you guys, and we'll be right back on DieDragonDie, episode 9 of the Legends campaign. Okay, we're back. Hopefully restarting the stream will help. So we're gonna use we're playing Pathfinder rules, but I've taken kind of a combination of Pathfinder 4th and 5th Ed and the concept of training for levels. I think, in my opinion, this might give players a better attachment to the world. Also, there's lots of non-standard spells in the Pathfinder universe. A lot of these non-standard spells I don't think were play-tested as well as the core spells were. So that's why you hear me once in a while saying, that's a non-standard spell, you don't have it. But I allowed a version of non-standard spells to be in the game. You have to research or find them. This might limit their proliferation in the game, kind of represent that they're special magic and not stuff that you should get automatically. For those that are playing Pathfinder, given that the system is very mature, as in there's lots of books out there for it, I would personally suggest that you start slowly with introducing all the non-standard spells, because some of them and some of the combinations can kind of run away. And don't be.
There's also a lot of poorly written spells.
Yeah, don't be.
That are kind of like, you read it at first glance, it seems cool, but then afterwards you're like, how does this actually work? How does this interact with other things? What happens if? And it becomes a huge. You end up having to house rule things, or broken stuff can happen. So
from a game dev perspective, playtesting is an expensive thing to do. I guess when there are deadlines and rushes to get out, like the Splat books, there are mistakes that can be made. And the combinations that are really worrisome sometimes aren't just the spell themselves, but it's the spell plus some combination of weird feat from another book or another spell, or like the combinations of powers start to play with each other, and you can't play test all combinations. Like, it's a really difficult problem with a lot of these rule sets. But don't be afraid to, as a DM, say, no, it's a non-standard spell and it doesn't grant your charisma bonus to hit. It only grants up to a +2. Or make a spell that's overpowered one level higher and watch to see if your players would actually still take it. That usually means the spell was underpowered to begin with. So I'll ask questions offline when we have these discussions. I usually try not to have them during game. Like, I want to know what spells they are going to pick, or they're going to find, or try to introduce. Would you still take this spell if the second level spell, if it was a 4th level spell? And if the answer is yes, then make it at least a 4th level spell and then move on, right?
Ahmed is the master of the surprise spell. So Marty, I want to cast this spell, Greater Angelic Aspect. We're like, well, what the fuck is that? I've never even heard of that spell before.
Yeah, in another campaign, I also had them. You got a limit of, you only got 2 special non-standard spells as a cleric per level. Yeah, you got them, but you had to make decisions on them. For this particular campaign,
which was fun. I like that.
We'll have researching. So yes, clerics and non-spontaneous casters might be doing research to tap into powers that are not core or standard spells. So I'm mentioning this because we may have a discussion about it as we level. So why don't we let a certain amount of time to go by? Thanks, Cyrix. Yes, I'm still recording locally. Yes, we don't want to repeat.
Not a repeat of that one time. That never happened, okay?
It never happened.
Just forget that. Happened. That week, we didn't do anything that week. Nothing happened.
We took that week off. What are you talking about?
I think it's being recorded 3 ways. I have Twitch recording, and then I've got it's recording to one massive file, and it's also recording locally to hour-long files. So, okay. So why don't we let some arbitrary number, let's say 20 days before an event will happen. How are you going to spend the next 20 days? Let's start with Mark. Just because A is for Azildan.
All right.
A is for Mark.
He wants to. Are we talking training or just what he's doing whilst?
Yeah, so I want to know, how are you going to spend the next 20 days in order of what you're going to do?
He wants to talk to, what's his name? Milos? No. The Lakelander. Miko. Yeah. Because he wants to find out, where are these Lakelanders?
All right. Anyone else want to participate in that conversation, or anyone else have a reason to go speak to Miko? I think Lokrik does, because Lokrik is a bard, and Miko
wants to know.
And apparently the drinking, there are 2 drinking places in town. One is an inn, which is actually the main floor of it is more like a tavern. And then there's the mead maker house, which a dwarf runs. Lokrik doesn't seem to like the dwarf for whatever reason, is avoiding that dwarf. For those that watch the show, I think 2 shows ago, Lokrik failed to save against fear against some of these weird dog-like creatures that were attacking. And in one of the few first rounds of combat, he ran away. So Lokrik's actually, and this dwarf that runs the mead maker house saw Lokrik cowering in an alleyway while his companions were fighting. So I think Lokrik's just sort of avoiding the man that thinks that he's a coward. Lokrik's going to go meet with the Lakelander. I think Lemio is going to meet with Solvamanki, the druid, and they're going to talk about the spring and druid stuff. But anyways, you go and speak to Miko. So the next day was basically a day of feasting. And how much treasure did you guys? Oh yeah, sorry. I'm going to back up for a minute here, because you may want to do the treasure dividing first, because you need money to train.
Azildan's a poor bushman right now.
So basically, if you guys spend a day after the day of celebration selling your unwanted goods, like the whole party partakes in it, then I think you can sell all of your goods. So 1,000 gold pieces per character per day is really the limit that this town will do. So the 4th of Oak we're going to call the day of celebration. It's also the 5th of Oak is going to be the party sells their unwanted goods or their spoils to the townsfolk. I think I put the 800 gold, which was your share approximately, on each of your character sheets. For you guys to train in 2 classes this level, at level 5 it's 250 apiece, so if 500 total, that total goes towards training.
Oh, so we have to train for each class?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so Mark, you go to see Miko. We'll say this is during the day of celebration. Basically, this place as well as the Mead Makers Hall are basically open for drinking. There are teeming throngs of folks around, as well as tables being set up in common areas.
Okay.
Miko's busy, but he does wave you over. Come, a seat of honor. Thank you for coming to my house. It's a Skraeling's bed. Usually only foreigners and strangers come, he says.
Well, guess what I am?
Foreigner and stranger like myself, fellow Lakelander.
Yeah, thing is, I don't know where that is. I was kind of curious. Maybe you could tell me.
Sure, he smiles. He forgot where his home was, and there's some people that are laughing. It's not just foreigners. He's being modest. There are people that like Miko, and his drink and his establishment. His establishment seems to be a collection of like not one furniture maker made all the furniture. It seems like pieces that he's collected over time, made out of like driftwood and excellent carpentry, or like, why does he have like a bronze gilded chair? And then his walls are adorned with like tusks of animals and animal heads and weapons and battered shields and things written on the walls, everything from scrolls that have just been nailed to a wall. Like there's one post where there seems to be like messages left for people that are just nailed to a wall, like a message post, whereas others seem to be like written poems that have been just stuck up onto the walls. There's a children's area where they seem to use charcoal and chalk to make drawings. Some of the drawings get turned into art everywhere. He's definitely a bard.
Okay.
And seems to be sort of like a center of what could be culture or entertainment in this place. It's not just an inn. I'm going to open up a map.
Okay.
Because Miko's able to describe to you. And I kind of need the map to make the description. Hopefully this doesn't crash your map tools.
Okay.
This is the big one. Oh, it's also fogged.
Nah.
I see nothing.
Yeah, I'll force you guys there.
I'm blind. Blind.
You can see you're going blind.
No.
I was blind, but I cannot see. Okay.
I can see I'm going blind.
Well then, friend, let me know if there's anything that reminds you of home.
Okay.
We're in the town of Runeshoyde.
All right.
The Skady Horn Mountains are behind us, and the Hallerfell are to the south. There's a river that comes tumbling down into the Skady Horn Mountains through the valley, bisecting the valley itself.
All right.
If you continue up the valley, you'll hit another river. This one flows westward into the Kraken Fens. You don't want to go north of there because Mokdada is a dead land, but full of danger. It's in the Kraken Fens in Mokdada that we suspect that the orcs are coming from.
All right.
It is to the south that you would return, to the Great Elder Wood. And the land of the Lakelanders is called Vatnumi, a great series of lakes, through which all the water of the world flows. He's exaggerating. These are the lands of the Lakelanders.
Well, look at that. It's, okay, yeah, that's nowhere near my home. Alright.
The Elder Wood is a great and verdant forest. Many of our people hunt there, revere there. And the heart of the Elder Wood, something very special. He smiles.
Well, don't keep it to yourself now.
Ah, it is a secret of the Lakelanders.
Oh, come on, you strike me as a storyteller. Come on. You got a story, I knows it.
Hey, he spends some time describing the geography of the world, and I'm going to give you, basically for this conversation, an idea of the world that is Volsland. I'm going to reveal lots of it.
That's a big map. Oh, we're going to that volcano. I don't know why, but we're going to go to that volcano. I'm going to throw something in it.
To the north,
I like how you think, sir.
to the north, you've got Jotun Fell, To the direct north, you've got the Great Claw River coming from the Great Bear Lake in the Vales of the Wolf.
Go there.
The Sulphur Wood is just over yonder. You're a ranger, aren't you?
Oh, it's something like that, yeah.
You should go meet Zybor. Zybor's a Lakelander. He's special though. He trains beasts. Just don't ask him about training horses. He doesn't like horses.
You know what? I don't like horses either. They nip at you.
We've got the Sulphur Wood, and if you go far enough, it turns into the Frog March, also known as the Froskmere. To the southern lands, Rosengrass is where you go for good horses. This is all the Rovland territories here. Territories that are beholden to the King of Vossland. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I recognize these names, says Lokrik.
Of course you do. You said you're from Vattenfell, the lake in the mountains. Or Carrick Vaughan, in the words of your people.
Yes, we live in Dvergholm.
Oh, yeah. There you are, right there. He points to it at the map. Ain't
the flash
that
did not.
far.
The flash did not transport me far. I also think that the wizard appeared behind me in the bathtub as my cousin tried to sneak up on me with an axe in hand. I think the wizard touched my head.
You know, stories like that make me not so sad. I have no family.
It makes me think twice about going back home.
Well, at least you know who to look out for.
Yes, the line of succession would pass to him.
If we go to the south, on the far shore of the Raven Aegir, or the Raven Sea, we've got the mighty kingdom of Vossland, only rivaled by the kingdom of Gosterland and the kingdom of Hjormark.
Oh, there we go.
These are the great raiding kingdoms of Vosgard.
What about this fiefdoms of Rosrug? I can't even read the language though, can I?
The fiefdoms of Rosragul are warring folk, mostly fighting amongst themselves over the rich lands and rivers that are there.
Why?
Beyond, there are other kingdoms of men and other creatures. Are you saying you are not from any of these lands?
Well, I've seen maps of where I'm from. I don't recognise anything on here. However, I was never that great at maps, so maybe I was looking at a smaller area and I just don't recognise it because this one's so damn big.
It is a large, proud land. I'm told that there are many lands beyond it. But why would you ever want to leave? It's only the raiders that would go down and raid other kingdoms.
Yeah, you know of any lands around here have got or what the big man called them, midgets? You know, little people.
You mean you're like your friend Lemio?
Yeah, well, kinda, but shorter. And less colourful, let's say.
Kingdom of Vossland is considered as Skraelings. You go to the Elderwood to meet the Skraelings. You and I are Skraelings, at least in their eyes. Small people? I'm not sure, he says. Well, I've heard of them, I've just never heard of any of their lands.
I must be far then.
Look,
We'll find a way home eventually. In the meantime, now, I plan to enjoy your lovely Vossland. Nice people here.
it's a dangerous place to travel alone.
Well, I got apparently ready-made friends as soon as I got here, so... And apparently one of them drops mountains on people, so that's pretty safe.
The Volslanders did battle with giants long ago and won these lands from them with the graces of their gods.
Wait. I did learn one word. Did you by chance force them back to the Jotunfell?
It would not surprise me if you travelled far north to the Jotunfell. Although, I have not heard from my people in a long time. The orcs and the Orkneska choke this valleyway. There are stories. The orcs themselves may very well come from the Elderwood.
How many do the Lakelanders number?
Lakelanders? Thousands.
Well, from what I understand, wish is limited, admittedly, but don't Lakelanders have great magics?
The Lakelanders are strong with druidry. You might want to talk to Silver Monkey about the druids.
Silver Monkey, got ya. Alright.
Silver Monkey.
That's what I said, Silver Monkey.
Oh, she's not gonna like that. He laughs. Silver Monkey, I think? Give me a second. Did I just create one of those NPC names?
You certainly. Yes, you did.
Alright, Silver Monkey. And then she turns into a lion and eats you.
I'm sorry, I meant Silver Lion.
Silver Monkey is from the Elderwood. The Lakelanders revere the Elderwood, but do not live deep within it. There is something at its heart. He seems to want to tell you, but...
Alright, I'll go talk to Silvamang. Oh, she's gonna hate me. Oh well, best get drunk before I go then. Blame it on the slurs, you know.
Charisma.
You want to train as a cleric and a monk, Mark.
Yes.
Have you met any clerics or monks in town that can provide such training?
No. Except for the mighty Silver Monkey.
Oh no. Alright, are we gonna go talk to Silver Monkey now, or...
Yes.
Okay.
Well, after I have a meal and a drink, and
Okay.
because
How many drinks for courage?
It's Solva Mankey, and I'm gonna go
Silver Monkey.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can add a conversation layer to this map.
I am going to add.
You know what? I'm actually not going to. I'm gonna go to a different map. This map is so big that it might crash.
Okay, that's fine.
Crashing? Bad. C'est le terrible.
I'll go back to the campaign.
Okay.
Just
Shut the
Runeshoyde.
monkey. Shut the monkey. Personally, I'm kind of fond of the Volison, but that's right.
Locrick's gonna just hang out with that Miko's place for a while.
Alright then. No skin off my ass. Let's go. Oh wait, you said you're saying. That's fine.
Okay, you find that Silver Monkey's already chatting with Lemmy. You see them on the edge of the Oster Spring.
Oh. Well then.
Oh, this my friend here, Zilban. He's probably from a different world too.
I looked at a map of this one. I'm guessing that's so.
Oh, someone's got a map.
Yeah, you go to Scrading's bed there. You got a map there. You got all sorts of great stuff there, actually.
Yes, for those that cannot keep a mental map of the world. Silver Monkey apparently doesn't know anything about personal space because she walks right up to you. Oh, she's a tall elf, and if you can kind of zoom in, she's shapely, like she's not.
I have no map right now.
She's not afraid to eat. Give me a second.
You hit the select
Other
button,
locations or
conversation.
conversation?
No, I zoomed in here. Let me.
Oh, Runeshoyde.
So
Yeah.
I've got two views: the view that you're supposed to see, and
Yeah.
the view that the
And
streamers see.
yeah.
Alright, there we go.
Okay, yeah, she is bizarre looking.
She's got an elkhorn kind of like circlet. She looks like she's not afraid to eat, which is like she's kind of chubby and healthy in many places, which is not quite like an elf. She's like no elf that you've seen, with just straight white hair, and she's got to be 6'7", like really tall, really pointy ears, and milky white eyes. She still can see them.
So
I heard
you're
that hasn't
an elf?
Yes. And you're the product of the union between. She thinks for a moment. A high elf and a man. Your ancestors are not from this world. As she's like feeling your jaw and kind of having a look at the shape of your cranium.
Phrenology.
Like with her mouth, like her hand on his mouth. People say I don't know when to stop.
She then kind of like sees how strong you are, kind of like shaking your shoulders, and then her hand goes down to the symbol of Meiliki. Meiliki.
You know her.
She is a god of the Lakelanders, one of their pantheon, which differs from the pantheon of those in this village. The Suomi pantheon. She is friend of the forest and protector.
That would be her, yes.
How come by you of this symbol? She's testing.
Oh. Well, it was given to me. Actually, was given to me by her hand outstretched from the earth after I returned the heart of a dryad's tree and flew through the trees, not unlike a lord of the forest. Red Ranger like, you might say.
She says fascinating.
Yes, I thought you would say.
I was just speaking with Lemmy.
Oh, Lemio. But that's alright there, Silver Monkey.
She doesn't like being called Silver Monkey.
Assuming you're all speaking Elven.
Yeah.
But that's my name, she says. Not quite getting the joke.
But well, that big kidder. Okay, I get it. Does not
Lemio
get
was
it.
asking of the Yig.
Yeah, that tree, is it connect here? I mean, it must, because that's how Lemio got here.
Yes.
And if we could get to that tree, I could get home from that tree.
Many of my kind do not dwell in the Elder Wood any longer.
Yeah, why is that? What's in the heart of the wood? There's something there, ain't there?
Yeah, that's where the tree is.
Oh, bloody hell, that makes sense.
Ain't it?
That would make sense if that's where the orcs are coming from.
It is. The Lakelanders, the druids there have failed this world. As more and more of these raiders have come by way of the Yig. It is a place that you should not travel to lightly. You may have stopped an orc raid here on the town, but it is their pathway to this place. And there are more than just orcs that come by way of the Yig. They bring with them their foul technology and their religion of Grumsh.
Yeah, these humans don't seem to like this Grumsh. Apparently they've only got room for one one-eyed god here or something.
Grumsh's eye was plucked out by a great elven deity named Coralon. Coralon Lorethian.
Well, it would explain its foul disposition now, wouldn't it?
It is a god of war, conquest, of sacrifice, of blood. This god and its followers must be stopped.
Well, you can't stop them unless you go into the Elderwood now, can you?
We've not gone there in many hundreds of years. This has been going on for some time, but only recently something different. The orcs themselves have allied themselves with giants. Giants march with them instead of against them. Yes, the heart of the Elder Wood is a pathway to Yig. The only reason why I tell you this is that Lemmy... Lemmy, but that's alright. ...is a priest of Yig, as well as a druid.
Well, aren't you fancy?
And you can be trusted with such information as a follower of Meliki is bound by God.
Referring to your god.
Yes.
Bound by the goddess to protect the forest, and Yggdrasil is a forest unto itself.
Well, that is actually true, yeah. Can't stand by and let that happen.
You are not strong enough to go to the Elder Wood.
Well, thank you for that vote of confidence.
There may be things that can help you fight giants.
Would it be more giants? Like Yuka, we could use more of him. That's unfortunate.
There are a group of druids that long ago lost their way. While their kind has been wiped from the world, their grove remains. And I think there may be things still in that grove that could help you.
Where would I find this grove?
Yes, we might check it out. Is it on the way? Yes.
I need to do some clicking. Give me a second.
Where are my notes?
She seems to be a very no nonsense person. As my stomach rumbles too, because I'm basically playing D&D instead of eating
Yeah, me too.
dinner.
I was like,
Pizza.
I had a sandwich, and I was like, I didn't eat anything else today. Oh god.
Now, all the pizza places that deliver near my place are shit, so I have to drive to get pizza, which sucks. Downloads AP, the second one.
Really? Pizza on the West Coast? Bad.
Yeah.
Goat cheese and broccoli isn't the best?
No,
Feta and spinach.
It's not even. It's either like really low grade garbage or.
The best low grade garbage pizza I know of that's just everywhere is that Little Caesars, the deep dish stuff. The regular pizza is complete low grade garbage. The deep dish is like passably acceptable poison.
These druids, I believe, fell against the orcs when the orcs first came to this world. But there are stories that these druids also lost their path. It may very well be the reason why they failed to fight a foe as simple as orc. The orc are not of nature, at least the ones that come here. The Orknesker are closer to nature, as they dwell upon this world. Not all Orknesker are bad. They too have their own druids, but there are no druids of this god Grumsh. This god is a god of smoke and fire, of carnage and slaughter. It cares not for the forest, and it is against them that these druids come. But I do believe that in the Ghostlight Marsh, their vault of thorns still lies untouched.
Vault of Thorns, you say?
Yes.
Alright.
Before you go there, we shall speak again.
Alright. You, want to smoke some weed?
It is a day of celebration, she says.
And as she's curious about this weird herb that you brought to this world.
Who cares?
Okay, so
Lemio?
Azildan gives her strange weed, and then she feeds you mushrooms, and basically the rest of the celebration day
Is a blur.
is a blur. Azildan speaks to Miko, and then talks with Salr Wyrmbein.
I wrote the name down properly for
Okay.
our trainers.
Azildan, I don't think she could train you in the archery aspect of your. She's considered a nature resource, so
Okay.
she could actually do the training for both you and Lemmy.
Okay.
I'm going to say rangers could train Lemio, or sorry, they could train Zen archers. You do need to find a friendly cleric, though, that could start to train you. And I think there are two places as well. Salr Wyrmbein, praying in that place is kind of like considering the settlement is training you.
Okay.
Because it's actually a holy place to many gods, and it's considered neutral holy ground, and your goddess is neutral good. So I think that might apply.
That will do nicely then.
Between practicing your archery, which other people in the town are moderately trained archers, particularly that guy named Cursed uses a bow once in a while. So he actually pals around with Azildan a little bit. Then you learn a little bit more about nature from Salr Wyrmbein, as well as...
And Azildan says stupid things to him like, why are you aiming? You're doing it wrong.
Right, he is not a Thelidran archer. Salr Wyrmbein, basically, you traded your hallucinogen